Hello and welcome to Mad Science, How I Got Into Evil Pre-Med. I'm your host, Mathias Malpractice, and on today's episode, we will be discussing the Week of Disservice. So the Week of Disservice is an event that Crimson University holds every year in, it's roughly the middle of October, and you do a whole week of anti-charity events. So I will be discussing my Week of Disservice. So, the first day of Week of Disservice, we got to steal candy from babies, which everyone says that stealing candy from babies is as easy as stealing candy from a baby, but it's really not, because not that many babies have candy on them. I don't know why they don't have candy on them. I guess parents are too concerned about choking hazards and their child being hyperactive and being addicted to sugar or whatever. Being addicted to sugar is not a problem. I do not have a problem. So what you do a lot of the times is you just end up wandering around looking for babies with candy, and then you give up on that. So then what me and my friend Joshua did, we bought candy, and we give it to a baby, and then we take it right back, and then they start crying, and it was great because babies crying is great because I'm an evil person, obviously. It's kind of annoying though, so you kind of have to book it, especially before the parents get annoyed. And actually, what me and Joshua ended up doing afterwards was we hung out at a playground and stole candy from toddlers, which is a lot better than stealing candy from babies, because toddlers are a lot more likely to have candy to steal, and they have a better reaction. They do cry, yes, but it's not the agitating, annoying sound that babies make when they cry. So, I'll tell you that. The next day of the Week of Disservice, it was all about slashing tires. So you just get a special knife and you get to go down streets slashing people's tires. So what I was doing, I was running down the streets, like I would get cars. I'm pretty sure I saw my ex's cars. So I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I made sure to extra slice their tires, and I also carved lots of heinous symbols into the side of their car, such as the male. Am I allowed to say that on this podcast? I don't think so, but I described lots of phallic and inappropriate symbols on the side of their car. So I hope they enjoy that, and I hope they know it's me. Trust me, they deserve it. What did they do to me? Next question, but you gotta trust me on this. They deserve it. Joshua is really smart here, because what he did was he has like a blowgun. I met Joshua at the Week of Disservice, by the way. He's like my best bud now. He had a blowgun, and he would I don't know what exactly he did with it, but he would shoot like the cars with their darts from afar, so he wouldn't get caught. Which, as it so turns out, is a problem, because people, as it so turns out, don't like it when you slash their tires. I almost got caught a couple of times. I never did, because I'm very fast. The one guy who almost caught me, I turned around and screamed in his face, like the kind of shrieking, high-pitched horror movie scream that you expect out of like a crying girl. I'm pretty sure I shattered his eardrums, which is very nice. His ears were certainly bleeding. Do you know I am very good at making people's ears bleed? Who would have thought? Anyways, that was fun. And then next day, I believe we watched this is Tuesday, by the way. I believe on Tuesday we watched a documentary about an evil scientist who was using his inventions to, take over small countries and rob banks and threaten the government. So that was fun. I mean, it was a fine documentary. Nothing too special. Then on Wednesday, what we did was we went to a factory, and we took all their waste products, and we dumped them in the river. I mean, were they already doing that anyway? I think so, but, we helped them out. We helped them do it. Especially fun, what I did, I added some mutagenic chemicals to it, which I made them myself. And I'm pretty sure that if I made them correctly, they alter the gene expression in your eyes to make them swell up. And eventually they'll explode in your sockets. So you'll go blind, which is great. Or might have been the one that gives you bad migraines. I can't quite remember which one is which. They both kind of look the same, and I think the only way to figure out which one's which is for me to drink it. So I'll be doing that later. I'll tell y'all how it goes. But anyway, then we went to dinner after that with my Week at Disservice group. And we went to a restaurant. It was called Buffy's. I got a spicy chicken sandwich, which was not actually that spicy because, not a lot of good spicy food, as it so turns out. No one knows how to cook spicy food anymore. That's not the point. Point is, none of us ordered the tap water because, you spend a whole day dumping chemicals into a river. You don't exactly want to drink the tap water. That was fun. In Joshua, we gave the waiters some nice fake $20 bills. So that was entertaining. Thursday, what we did was we went around and we cracked sidewalks. So we had big old sledgehammers. We slam them into the sidewalk. Now the trick, it's an art, you see, because if you crack them too much, the government is like, oh hey, there's a cracked sidewalk right there. We gotta fix it. But if you don't crack it enough, nothing happens. So you gotta crack it enough that the government doesn't care to fix it, but just enough that those people on electric scooters go flying. Okay, this is what happened, which was, I cracked a sidewalk and I hid in a bush. What happened was someone came flying down an electric scooter. They hit the crack. Their scooter kind of immediately flopped down. They went flying you would have thought they were Superman how far they flew. And then they face planted on the sidewalk and they skidded. Their face looked like it had been shoved into a pile of acid. It was bad, and that sidewalk's going to be stained red for a long time. It does not look like it's going to wash out. They got an ambulance, and they'll probably be fine, or not. I don't really care. That's very fun. So all the sidewalks around here are cracked, and eventually it'll get all those annoying electric scooters out of this world. Anyway, last day was a fun day. It was the wedding crashing day. Now, the wedding crashing day is so fun for so many reasons, namely the free cake. I am a food connoisseur. That's a lie. I'm not. I just love food. But cake and wedding cake, it tastes even better because you can feel the tears of divorce in it. Tears of divorce in a wedding cake? In this culture, absolutely. So first thing you got to do is, so wedding we went to is really nice outdoor wedding. The bride had this beautiful, flowing, elegant, puffy white dress, and the groom had a nice facial structure, I guess. So what we did was during the dance, I fake proposed to Joshua. And, sometimes you just gotta fake propose to someone. And, of course, they didn't like that, but what are they gonna do about it? Fight me about it? I have cake in my hand. Because, by the way, I also took a massive chunk out of their cake, had it in their hand. The groom tried to fight me, slapped in the face with it. It was great. Which, of course, didn't go well, and I just started a cake fight. And as food fights usually devolve, it ended up getting out of hand and everyone fighting each other with the cake. And me and Joshua stole a large chunk of it and then just sat outside and ate it as we watched everyone throw that $1,000 cake at each other. Which, by the way, yeah, they lost a lot of money on that. But you know what? It's kind of on them. Why would you spend $900 for that kind of cake? I know it's a big cake. I know it's a fancy cake. But you could get that cake for $200, $300. The only reason it's $900 is because it's a wedding cake. I think the real bad guys here are the wedding industry. But that was the week of the service. So after that, we did a couple surveys. On Thursday, we watched another documentary. It was just about all these people with not a lot of resource to the name still going out and committing heinous acts. Once again, fine documentary. Documentaries tend to be mediocre, Unless, they're, like, good there's very little in between. It's either a mediocre documentary or it's, like, good. I mean, sometimes you have, like, awful documentaries, but most of the time they're just mediocre. And that was fun. I would definitely participate in it again next year. Although it's only for freshmen and you have to be like a week of disservice counselor to do it again. But it was nice. Like I said, I got a new friend out of it, Joshua. I love that man already. It's great. My classes are still going well too. I committed my second crime for English decomposition. Obviously, I wrote the manifesto. It's not a great manifesto, but a man's got to write a manifesto sometimes, especially if it's for a grade. So the crime I committed was I took a modified version of the common flu, and I made sure that it was resistant to all the different strands that the flu shot was targeting this year. How did I do this? I just kind of let it live in a jar. I just kept doing stuff to it. I heated up a little bit. I added some nucleotides in there. I added some bacteria cells, and eventually it came out to something that was quite different from whatever flu is out and about making everyone sick right now. And then I went to the local aquarium and I said, hey, give me your sharks or I'll release this flu virus. So they're like, oh, hell no, So they gave me their sharks. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know how to move these sharks. So I also held them hostage for their Shark Tank movers. So now I just have a whole bunch of sharks in my dorm. Why do I want sharks? My buddy, my sweet mate Ben, wants them for some evil project. I think he's going to put lasers on them. Why does he want laser sharks? I don't know. I hope he doesn't kill me with them, but I feel like if he wanted to kill me, he could have killed me already. So I think I'm fine. Yeah, laser sharks are cool, I guess. What else do we have? Oh, I got a new chem set. I really, like I said, I really like the process of mixing chemicals together. So I got a new someone's honking outside my dorm. Like a lot. I don't know if you can hear that. But I don't know what they're doing. It kind of sounds like an alarm. Maybe one of my giant mutagenic wasps got out. Maybe it's a car alarm that's being triggered from one of my giant mutagenic wasps. I did release the giant mutagenic wasp, by the way. I don't see it, though. And if it was out there, it dropped the car because the car stopped honking. Anyway, I'm not going to think about that too much. I kind of hope they're dead. Anyway, got the new chem set. You can, move the chemical. It's got, titration devices. It's got, 26 beakers. It's got, 17 flasks. It's got, by the way, it's sturdy glass, too. I've dropped it on my hard wood, and it has not exploded. So, hopefully, it is resistant to all the exploding chemicals that I make. It's got, fizzing foam collectors. It's got, burettes, that's a French thing, burettes and pipettes. It's awesome. It's it's almost like a professional level thing for a hobby. It's I love mixing chemicals. The biology project, I finally the final project for Intro to Evil Biology, I finally decided on it. And is it to spite my professor? Absolutely. So my professor, her name is Dr. Audrey, claims that she has a talking plant. That's just not true. She has a plant that you ask it something, it goes, and you're like, what was that? It goes, it's like, what's your favorite movie? It doesn't talk. It murmurs at you, which is totally lame. And she has the audacity to call it Audrey 2. How self-centered do you have to be? Yeah, sure, Okazaki fragments are named after Dr. Okazakis, who were husband and wife, but they're cool. You have to be at least as cool as Dr. Okazaki, both of them, to name something after yourself. And she's just not. She's a lunatic, right? And I respect that, but she cannot be pulling this kind of self-centered schemes. She's just not that cool. So despite her, I'm going to make an actual talking plant. Now I'm going to name it the Mathias 3. Actually, I have the pot right here. Right now it just looks like a plant, but trust me, I'm going to modify a lot of its genes. I'm going to give it a brain, I'm going to give it a mouth, and then I'm going to teach it human language, and it's going to talk, and I'm going to get 100 on my Intro to Evil Biology project. Anyway, I also have professional development. We had to make a 4-year plan, which was basically have to mark all the classes you're doing this year and next year and all the way to your senior year, including electives, to make sure you get your degree, which I think is a little bit ridiculous because they're making me plan for electives 3-4 years in advance. And it's like, I barely know what I'm going to eat for lunch tomorrow. I barely know what kind of evil mutagenic wasp I'm releasing tomorrow. I don't even know what kind of evil plants I'm planting tomorrow. How am I supposed to know what kind of crimes I'll be committing senior year? It's just kind of ridiculous, I think. And it's graded. Like, I tried to turn it in with none of the electives filled out, just like general, oh, here's what kind of elective I need. And it's like, well, no, screw you, you don't get 100 because you didn't write in the electives. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll write in the freaking electives, which are impossible to find on the website, by the way. Like, there's no, like, the Crimson University class website, there's no clear indication as to what is an elective and what kind of elective it is. You just kind of have to guess, which is obnoxious, and I would as my academic advisor, but academic advisors are always sort of not doing their job right. I'm pretty sure they're all malpractice majors too. If they're not malpractice majors, maybe they should have been. I also got my lab partner back. Sophia, she came to the lab with a whole bunch of bandages on her face. She couldn't really see anything, and I wanted to test my new chemicals that hopefully when you fall into them, they make you like the Joker, make you crazy. Because obviously everyone wants to fall into a vat of chemicals and become crazy like the Joker. And I was like, hey, Sophia, touch it. She's like, what? She touched it, and it melted her arm off. So that's a solid failure. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Maybe the molarity's off. I don't really know. But I'll be trying that again. But for now, she's back at the medical clinic, back in the hands of the malpractice majors. So, it's just, you win some, you lose some. And for Sophia, she has lost a lot of things by being my lab partner. Hopefully the cybernetics department, all those whatever the evil mechanical engineers make her a new cyborg arm or something like that. But other than that, I think she's dead out of luck, but not dead. She could be dead. It could always be worse, like Marco. Rest in peace, Marco. Yeah, that's all that's really been happening in these past couple of weeks. And I hope all y'all have an amazing week. And keep being evil, my beautiful little minions.